what's up, everybody? This is Romi and DjRelleo. No, I'm DjRelleo, not Romi. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is DjRelleo and Romi, and we are more Bachata.
Hey,
in today's episode, we're gonna talk about events, how to start a new event, why you start a new event, and all that fun stuff. And the words of the great and wise. No, he's not so wise. Romi, it's fun as hell to start a new event.
It is. It just is. It's addicting. I love it.
Cue music. So we're gonna talk first of all about why do you start an event?
Why? Why? If you ask me why I started a new event, we started a new event years ago, it was because there was a hole. There was no more events for bachata. And so we started an event because we wanted to dance it. We filled in that hole.
Yep, exactly what he said. There was a need for a new style of music. There was nobody else playing bachata. There was somebody playing bachata before, and a little bit, and then when they stopped, we need to fit that in there because we wanted it.
So that's the first reason why you start. It's because you want to fill in a hole for your personal want.
What's another reason?
Another reason would
because
be...
Go ahead. Cut me off.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The floor is yours.
No, you talk.
Sir, to you. Sometimes when you go to these events, you're like, man, this event is all right. It's okay, but this person who runs it sucks. Why do they keep doing it like this? And you're like, I could do this way better. I could get better music, better DJs, better lighting, better dance, better anything.
Which may be true, may not be.
Sometimes it's just our egos, right? But whatever. If you want to start, you do it. Then the other part of why you start, part 3, is that it just happened by accident. You were just dancing one day with your friends, and then someone's like, hey, I like the way you dance. Do you want to teach an event? You want to teach at my event? And then eventually it rolls over into you having your own event because people really like what you got. Part 2 of starting an event is how to start an event.
Guess what? It's really easy to start an event. No, it's not. It's hard.
What the hell was that?
Hard.
I'm confused.
Okay.
So it's really hard then?
It is hard.
Okay.
Well, no. there's a whole different argument to this. It's easy to start an event. It's hard to make it successful. And anybody can just put together a dance club in a studio somewhere or in a club and start social dancing to music playing from your iPhone and call it an event. Yeah, sure. Is it going to be successful? Probably not. You got to put a little bit more thought into it. So what are the things to make an event successful?
The first thing that I like to think about is your team. First off, are you going to work on your own, or are you going to work with other people who have the same vision or goal that you have?
Can you work with other people? If you can't, then you're better off doing it by yourself. Yeah. Secondly, are the people that you're working with complementing your team, or are they just there because you say, oh, these are cool, these are my friends, and we just don't really have different skill talents? Spoiler
alert, if you work with your friends just because you're homies, eventually one of you guys are not going to do the job.
But we got lucky into finding 3 people that worked really well together because we all had different skill sets that blended into every single hole that we needed for that team to work.
All right. So the first person that was in our team was?
Miguel.
Yes, exactly. What did Miguel bring into it, Juan?
He was the face. He was the personality. He had the music. He was the person that was always in the microphone and introducing and entertaining the audience.
Yeah, the connections as well. Because he was from the Bay Area, besides being in Sacramento Davis, he was able to get a lot of other people out of our area to come into our area.
He was the body.
Nice. And then, Juan, what is your position?
I was the soul.
What the Okay, so as the soul, what did you do, Juan?
I did all the graphics, all the marketing material, all the logos, all the designs.
You also DJ'd.
I also DJ'd some of the music as well.
Okay.
And then that was pretty much all I did. And then we got Homeboy over here, who was the mind, as he wants to call it.
So he was. Yes, I am your mind.
So he was all the behind-the-scenes organization, planning, and events, and making sure that the business run as a business instead of just a bunch of people fooling around.
Sometimes. Like I said earlier, when you're with your friends, you're going to have a good time. You're starting up, you're excited, but eventually there's going to be times where you're burned out, you're tired, and you don't want to work. And if you're with people that you work well with, we got lucky, we all worked well. When one of us got lazy and didn't feel like doing it, the other 2 pulled us up. Like, hey, we got to do this. There's no way we're going to stop because we've done it so well. We're going to keep going, get out of the gutter, and come on up.
And that was one of the biggest things we found out when we were doing this thing is that when one of us wasn't there, it was hard to fill the hole because they had that responsibility. So it's something that you got to think about when you're addressing your team. Do you have somebody that can jump into a spot and fill in those holes that are not there when the other people don't show up or can't show up. So what else does it take to make an event successful?
Venue.
Big time.
Space to dance. Now, when people think venue, they think like clubs, studios. You know, a venue could be your backyard, could be your house, could be wherever you want to be to hang out with people. Because remember what I said earlier, sometimes it could be an accident that you start off as an event planner. So if you and 10 other people, or maybe 5 people, are just friends, you want to teach each other how to salsa, bachata, kizomba, what have you, you meet up at like the park. And then next thing you know, people are seeing your group dance at the park. They're like, hey, what is this?
Oh, yeah, or you're dancing in your garage and somebody walks by saying, you guys teach? That just happened to us.
Yeah, it did. That's so true. It just happens. And so when we say venue is, find a place where you can consistently meet up with friends and others, and then just keep going.
And another thing that makes an event successful, music. And it's not necessarily having the right music, because there's no such thing. It's about having the music that fits your audience. Knowing what your audience is, that's a big one. Mm-hmm. And what kind of music they listen to, and how you're making that, not just filling their needs, but filling what they don't know they need.
It's a bit of a growing pains between you, the music player, and the audience. Mm-hmm. Because the audience, if you're brand new, the audience doesn't really know what kind of music you'll be playing.
Yep. And
then if you're the DJ, you don't really know what the audience wants. So your goal is to find a happy medium in between and just play things, and then like, all right, I noticed that they like this remix more, and then so maybe I'll try something like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe, and I noticed they like the timba more than mambo, maybe I'll try something with that.
Yep.
So it's all about tasting and trying different things.
And the last thing that I think is very important in starting your own event is customer service.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people don't think about that, and they just start an event and say, oh, I'm just gonna put an event together and then let it run itself. It doesn't work that way. If you're doing a social club at a nightclub, typically you have people helping you out. You have bouncers, mm-hmm. or people at the gate, bartenders, all that stuff. They help you with a lot of the customer service. If you're running your own event at a dance studio or at your backyard, you have to provide the ability to make the people that are attending feel comfortable with
exactly
it and enjoy it.
One of the biggest things I hate seeing is when like you have your event at a studio and you started it, and then next thing you know, there's no one manning the door, no one there to welcome people as they come in, take payments, tell them where to use the restroom, where to put their stuff, because you're busy dancing.
Yep.
And that's very important, that you have to remember someone has to work.
Exactly. Even though you're doing it for fun, if you're starting an event and you're getting paid for it, you should be taking it as a business, taking it in a very different light.
So those are the points that we think that everyone needs to know on how to start an event. You need to know if you're working in a team or on your own. You need to know the venue. You need to know if you're doing customer service, and you need to know the people that you are servicing.
And guess what? There's one more.
What is it?
Luck.
Luck.
You could have all 3 of those, and you could be very successful and be unlucky for whatever reason.
You're actually 4.
And that doesn't happen, and then you can't get the event going. And you know what the last thing is? You gotta know how to fail.
Yes. If you're willing to fail, don't plan to fail, but you're just okay that, all right, if I fail now, that doesn't mean you're gonna give up. That failure helps you learn how to make a better event. You notice that, hey, I didn't have enough parking space for this last event. Maybe I'll find another one with more parking space.
I didn't provide enough customer service. Maybe I should look into that.
Mm-hmm.
So look into those things. Go out there and fail. Learn from it. And start your own event and make it big, guys. That's it.
That's the only thing we could say. We hope this inspires anyone to try starting their own event. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you on the next one. Why do you keep doing that?